query storing. What is the purpose of storing a query? What is the purpose of storing a query? When it comes to the purpose, when you have reusability of the query regularly, if you are using that same query every day, instead of storing it somewhere else in notepad or somewhere else, instead of copying in some other documents and pasting it into workbench, SQL itself is providing some database objects which can store a query, This particular portion is called query storing. In this, we are going to see the first concept, which is called views. Views. View is also one of the database object like table. It is also one of the database object which is used to store single select query. Which is used to store single select query. View is used to store only the single select query. View will not store any tables or something. It will store only single select query. It will not store the output of any table or it will not store output of any query. It can store only single select query. For creating any database object, what is the command that we have? What is the command to create table? Select star from. Create table, table name is the command for creating table. For creating view, we have create view, view name. For creating any database object, we have a command called create. For creating view, we have create view, view name. View name as, and you have to write that single select query. And this query will be stored in this particular view. Let me show you how to write this particular view. What is the purpose of this particular query? Check printed, sorry, check pasted. Last two lines. What is the purpose of this query? This highlighted query. This is a subquery. What is the purpose of using it? It will fetch the account details of the people who did transactions. Daily, I want to check who are the people who did transactions. Daily, I want to execute same query. Daily, I have the same purpose. Instead of writing this query every time, same query every time, what I will do means I will store this query in the form of a view. It is a single select query, right? It started with select and ended with semicolon. Any query which starts with select and ends with semicolon will be called as single select query. It might be subquery, join, derived table, whatever it might be. It should start with select and end with semicolon. It is called as a single select query. Now what I want to do means, here in our database, we have tables. We don't have any views, stored procedures and functions. Near tables only, we have some expansion button. Near views, stored procedures and functions, we don't have any expansion button because we don't have them. Let us try to create a view. What is the command for creating a view? Create view. I am taking view name as accounts of transactions. Accounts of transactions. Create view accounts of transactions as, and I will write this single select query. This is how we can create a view. create view accounts of transactions as select star from account details where account ID in, select distinct of account ID from transaction details. This, if I execute this particular query, this select query will be stored in this particular view called account of transactions. If I refresh the schemas, near views also there will be an expansion button. If I expand this views, I have a view called accounts of transactions. In this particular view, I have this particular query. This particular select query is stored in the view. What will happen if I execute this view means, it will execute the query which is stored in it. Whenever you execute the view is storing one particular query, right? It will execute the query which is present in it. If I execute this view called accounts of transactions, it will execute this select query. It will execute the select query which is present in it. To execute the view, we have to use normal select query. Select star from view name. Select star from view name. View name is accounts of transactions. If I execute the view, it will execute the query which is present in the view. It is executing the query which is present inside the view. The output is the output of this particular query. View can store only single select query. Let me execute this query separately without a view. See the same single query select query. If I execute it separately, see the output. Two people did transactions. Account ID 1 person and account ID 7% did transactions. I am getting their account details. Even if I execute the view, select star from accounts of transactions, I will get the same output. Account ID 1% and account ID 7% details. Whenever I execute the view, the query which is stored inside the view will get executed. View can store only single select query. It will not store any tables or any other things. For example, if I insert one more transaction into transaction details table, transaction is done by account ID 2%, credit of 1000 rupees. If I insert this particular value, now how many values should I get in the output of the view? 3 values. Account ID 1%, 2%, and account ID 7%. 3 people. If I execute this particular view, I will get all 3 values. If I execute the view, the query which is present inside the view will get executed.